Okay, so let's take a look at how to draw spine plot in our language. So first thing that we would be doing is opening our studio. So let's open our studio. Next thing is that spine plot is like your typical histogram type of plot, but here you are dealing with two variables and the proportion with which the data gets visible in this plot looks like a spine. So this is called like a spine plot, right? You don't have to install any library for this. We will be using it from base R, right? So first thing, if we create the R script, we'll need data. So let's see that, and we're going to get data from Titanic dataset, right? And say 1 2 4, we will get sum, right? And once we have our data, what we can do is we call spine plot, right? So spine plot, as you can see, we are typing and it is auto completing, so we don't even need any external library for this. Simply select the first statement, or you can keep the cursor, hit run. Error in apply. Okay, so it needs to be uppercase, right? Titanic not found, but if we fix that, we can run it, right? So we have our data and its respective operation. You can click on this and you can view it in tabular format. Here you see no and yes, first 122 203, second, third, and crew, right? So that's some data we have. Then we call for spine plot, and then we pass this data, and here you see how many of them survived and their respective class. So basically this is taken from Titanic's dataset, right? So here you see first class, how many of them survive, yes and no, and their percentage, right? And second class, third, and then finally crew, right? So this region is in no category. So when you're dealing with a binary like that, yes or no type of answers, this type of chart can be pretty handy, right? If you want to have a transpose of this data, you can do so. Simply use transpose variable t, and then within that you also have closure for our function. So let's see if it's correct, then it will show something, and we have our data. Now here you will notice shifting of axis, rest of the data remains the same, right? So yes and no, you get the spine model here. So this is how our usually spine looks like within the breakage of that output, right? So here we have values for both yes and no, and for survival losses class you can flip that back again by removing the transpose function, right? Now there are a few more changes you can go with color as well, right? So previously I checked with one of the flat UI color that you can use as well. So let's see if I pick one of the color, and let's see if I use that, and then see my columns, I want colors between them. And next would be right. So you can execute this. Simply select the line, click run, and that shifting of color also occurs here, right? Similarly, we can also add border to this, but for that we would be needing one of the different colors. And here let's see if I want to add after this. So what I can do is use border equals to C, and within which can again set some colors here, right? So I'll need one more, right? And within these two there would be border, right? So if I select this line and run this, the border applied, right? So what we have done so far, we took Titanic dataset and we draw the first basic chart, then we used transpose, and that too we shifted the output of our spine plot. Finally we added color and border as well. And if you want more of like histogram like view, then you can remove the offset. Simply let me get rid of this, right, and offset to 0, right? So if I just run this, you get the data, right? Now again you can go ahead and change the color, the offset is removed, and now this will appear more like a histogram like view, but the plot remains the same, which is spine plot, right? So you can apply transpose and get more of a spine like view with the plot, right? So we have done our basic plot, then we have done transpose, then we added the color, then we also added border, and finally our histogram like view. Okay, there is one more observation related to Spinogram that you can take a look at, which is with package VCD. So we will do that. Install dot packages, right? Within that we will be passing in double quotes VCD, then we will hit enter and the package will be installed. Now what we can do is we can attach data set of arthritis, right? So what we can do is we can remove this if we want, right? Now first thing we will type in library VCD. Now we will try and attach our arthritis dataset, right? Then next is we will use counts option, where we have this table, right, which will be holding treatment versus improved data, right? Then for spine we are going to use counts, then main, where we have spinogram, right? And if everything goes correct, we can simply detach arthritis data, right? So let's run these two statements, first being our VCD, right, then attaching the data set related to arthritis, right? Now we have counts, so that data we have here, which is counts, we can take a look at that in tabular form, right? So the previous chart we can clean up, right? So here we have date and counts, it's basically in a table, so it should be available. For some reason it is not letting me view it, right? So let's leave it for now and move to next statement, spine, where we have our spinogram. So here you see the treatment versus improved, and here you also see placebo and treated patients spine, right? So here some and none, okay, so that's visible. Finally we are going to run detach arthritis to detach from this data, right? So if you don't want, you can skip this, but I have managed to write about it, right? So this is one of the way you can use external data sets to draw the spine plot or your spinogram, right? So here, as you can see, based on that data set and the column names, it managed to take out the data and added its own labels on those axes as well, right? But the title here, you can change that, right? So if you want spline plot as title, you can do so, right? So we can select all and run it, right? And here you see everything runs and it changes into spine plot option. So changing label isn't the issue. The thing is, we got the column names properly, and also we got two options of placebo versus treated, and here you get their respective data, right? You can also run this with offset set to 0, but I prefer to keep it that way for now because that's more specific to spinogram. So if you get the idea how to use external data set like arthritis or tetanic for drawing the spine plot, so you get the idea here.